Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hoopercast. Hey, this is the Reacher episode. If you've considered watching the show or if you like it and you just want to hear something that makes you feel good because you agree with it, then you've come to the right place today. Come on in and get that confirmation bias, that good old confirmation bias. Please enjoy Reacher. Speaking of tight, Reacher. Reacher is a series on. Are you okay?
Dustin's face got me.
I wasn't looking. I'll look at the other, I guess.
Mr. Reacher, we're looking into the owner of a rug import business called Bazaar Bazaar.
Let me guess. DEA thinks he's in business with bad people.
You know him?
I thought I killed him years ago.
What did he do to you?
He didn't do anything to me.
Maybe we can help each other out. I have a plan.
Undercover informant. Mr. Reacher, your record is impressive. Bench press proves nothing. Elbow on the pad. Reacher and I fought. Sorry, hand slipped.
Welcome to the team, Reacher.
I'm in.
Tonight's your chance to prove you've earned your keep, Reacher.
Exactly how much danger is this job putting me in?
Gotta get out of there.
How much time do I have?
I don't know. Who are you up against, Reacher?
Long story.
How often do you do this?
Every so often.
I figured out why you do what you do. Because you hate the big, the powerful, who think they can get away with things. So you make sure they don't.
You just figured that out?
This is an Amazon Prime Video series. It's 3 seasons so far, and it's based on books from the Jack Reacher series by Lee Child. So the show was developed by Nick Santora. He's the showrunner. Big cast of people. You got Alan Ritchson as the title character. Then you have a lot of actors who are, since each season's kind of based on 1 or 2 books, they mostly cycle out the cast, but there are some recurring actors like Maria Sten, who plays Frances Neely. A lot of that. I don't even want to go and name them. The third season, Anthony Michael Hall is in there, and he's really good. Just good. Just trust me, okay? Shit, good actors. So the series, let's see, the 3rd season just aired in the spring of 2025. So I've been catching up. This all kind of started with the Jack Reacher films that they were making with Tom Cruise. And of course, there's 2 of them. Yeah, there's Jack Reacher, and I think there's Never Go Back or something. Yeah. And the chief complaint at the time from the fans is like, Jack Reacher's like famously a very tall and large man. Why did we cast like a notoriously short actor to play him? Mm-hmm. And with people saying like, it's not that he does a bad job in the role. It's just that it's a pretty important aspect of his character. He doesn't talk that much and he's fucking huge. Yeah. And so when they stopped making those, Lee Child was like, be nice to get it right. And so they took it to ultimately Amazon. Big search. And Alan Ritchson at the time, I think, was most famous for being on Blue Mountain State, which is this sitcom about football on Spike TV. And he was also in, he was in Titans, but he was also in Smallville, Dustin.
Yes, he was. He played Aquaman.
Do you want to know my favorite role of his?
What's that? In New Girl, he played like a douchebag street artist with a micro penis. In one episode. Jess, the main character, wants to break up with him, and he's like, "It's because of my micro penis." It's amazing. You should watch it. That's Reacher.
I knew of the Jack Reacher films, and I was like, I just thought it sounded stupid. I was like, this is a stupid name, Jack Reacher. It's fucking dumb. And then I just heard that fans were upset, and I wasn't too pulled into it. All I knew going back was that that's kind of where, like, between like Valkyrie and those movies, that's where like Chris McQuarrie and Tom Cruise like really kept working together and leading into the mission films like Rogue Nation and Fallout. So I knew about them as like in the context of other things. And then when Amazon was like, hey, we got this new season of Reacher. And I was like, okay, so now they're doing this thing again. I saw Alan Ritchson. I was like, okay, well, it looks like they cast the right guy. And I just kind of hung on to it. And then for the last couple of years, I read like all the books that all the seasons were going to be based on. So I got like a real good sense of how the stories usually go, who the character is. And so then I finally started watching the show, and I got to say, I fucking love this show. Jack Reacher is a character who very much like a Western just rolls into town and trouble finds him. And he spends the book or the season fixing whatever it is. He is he's a former military police, like investigative officer. He doesn't own property or a vehicle. He just roams around the country. He's a hobo. He only carries like this metal, this like war metal that he has. And then, he gets his pension or whatever through an ATM, but like it's constantly referred to like, yeah, I don't have a house. Like I own a toothbrush and that's it. Like I don't have a house because then I have to start making payments on the house and I got to stay in one place to live in that house. And it's just for a guy who grew up in the military, always being told where to go, what to do. As soon as he got out, he was like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And so he just has no possessions. And when he goes into a town, he just takes off the clothes he's wearing, buys a new set of clothes, sells the other ones to a thrift store. And that's what he does. He doesn't even carry a suitcase. He just goes and buys new shitty clothes, basically.
He's like a one-man homeless A-team.
Yeah.
Yes. He rolls. You said he rolls into town and trouble finds him, and I was going to go.
Yeah.
Like the A-team.
The A-team.
Yeah, that's what he does. He just does that across the U.S. And so, like I said, the books are, except for one or two, they're not really connected. You can kind of read them in any order. There is like an official chronology of like which ones took place first and shit. But like, of course, when you get to TV, it's like we can't do this totally like an anthology. So there are like one or two references per season to some previous event because these characters exist in linear fashion. And so it doesn't make sense otherwise. But otherwise, like they kind of just, they just sort of roll over. Which is nice because that mimics the feeling you get from the books. We're not worried about arcs of side characters being tracked through multiple seasons of TV, making people important when for 3 seasons they weren't important at all. None of that shit. It was just, this show's about Reacher and a couple of other of his, contemporaries. But yeah, I love the show. They got the character from the books absolutely right. They made other supporting characters feel rich and lived in. One of them is getting her own spinoff. The Frances Neely character is getting an Amazon spinoff, which of course it's like, oh shit, because I didn't like Bosch Legacy in the end. And they're doing a spinoff of that spinoff, and they're probably going to give it even less money. And it's like, even though it stars Maggie Q, it's like, I don't know if there's much going for this show or if they're going to give it what it needs. But at the same time, I kind of want to watch Neely because like they're doing right by this show, and I enjoy it. There's a lot of care given to characters, and it makes the genre element of the show feel more exciting because you've invested in these people and they feel like they're not quite stock. And it's just a satisfying show in the same way that the books, like pulp novels, are satisfying. It's written.
What's the tone?
Serious crime show, but not, like there's horror, there's very graphic violence and everything in it. Like there's stuff that's, this is a character who's like beating the shit out of people, and he's big, so he can really fuck them up. And like, there's gun battles and there's fist fights and close quarters combat and there's like sneaking around and I mean there's a whole it's really exciting and it's great in the books and it's even better on screen being able to like see it externalized. And I never felt like the show was like skimping on the budget. Like I never felt like, oh geez, this is a real budget friendly like a real budget friendly fight scene or like a super fake explosion or something. Like I always felt like the show had what it needed to execute what it was trying to do. What was interesting to me about this, because that did all kinds of, once I caught up, I was like, what does Amazon want to do? Because this is the third season. The rule for streaming has always been like 3 seasons and then it's not really a moneymaker anymore. But Amazon's already greenlit the 4th season for this. And they apparently said they want to do this for, quote, a very, very, very long time. Like Amazon wants to keep this going. And Richson, I know, wants to as well, because he's like, I feel responsible to give the fans as many seasons of this as my body can take. Because there's like 20 something books. Yeah. So it's like, well, we have a bunch of material. It's going well. People like it. Alan's in great shape. Why don't we just keep it going? And I'm beyond pleased to be getting a 4th season of the show and hopefully many more if Amazon doesn't find an excuse to fuck it up. And this is what surprises me. Cause like, again, we talked about how like I say it's really the Netflix rule, like 3 seasons and you're out. So it's not that other streamers are going to take that model, but they're not going to completely ignore it. Like there's some wisdom behind that rule of thumb. So that's just like an interesting difference of business practice between Amazon and Netflix, how like Amazon might say, oh yeah, like we're interested in just doing this for as long as we can. And I'm glad, because you want to have a long running successful show that people like, that's regularly coming out with new stuff. So yeah, I guess that if this were Netflix, they would have been like, well, that was great. Oh, well, it's time to make the next thing. And that would be a bummer for something like this, which is based on a long running series of novels, that are, so I don't know. If they do mess it up, there's 20 something books out there that are great. Sure. But as far as like adaptations go, like this sticks to the books and the character really well. It's a great example of like, what's here is good. We don't really need to change it. It's great, entertaining show. Not like, it's not like watching CSI where it's like you're watching a network show that's like kind of faux serious, but like this is like, it's light at time, it's got humor, it's got action, it's got good writing, great characters, good performances, great casting, a lot of great character actors pop into these shows, because obviously any cop show is going to have like a lot of, just great side characters that really kind of add texture to these scenes. And,
So
nice.
I had never really considered it. And while you were talking, I was thinking about other IPs that find themselves in this situation. If it was created because the film or first iteration of it wasn't ideal, that's kind of rough, because if everybody else was lukewarm on it, the new thing is going to look like a cheaper spinoff of the thing you didn't think that was that great. Right. And I remember seeing the Reacher films and I was like, this just feels like homeless Ethan Hunt. And being like, I don't need to, I didn't see the sequel.
That's the problem with casting an A-lister like Tom Cruise. Even if they cast like, Dolph Lundgren or something, it's like, that's a better casting choice, but all you're going to see is homeless Ivan Drago.
Yeah. Right. And so what I was thinking about was like, what's another show that has done, it was Snowpiercer. So like Snowpiercer had a successful film. Yeah. And like, I didn't love that. I didn't love that, but I didn't dislike it. I'm surprised I haven't watched it again, I guess is the way I would put it. Yeah. But then they put out a show and I was like, again, I didn't dive in for that because I was like, what else they got to say other than like the film that was made? Yeah. And I don't know the source material for that. So like, it's really curious that you say, oh, it's because, the reins were turned back to the author to kind of do what they would with it.
Yeah.
And that they went with something more authentic. You always think it's going to be like a paler version of the larger film.
Yeah.
Well, and like another example of this for Amazon too, like there's an Alex there's an Alex Cross show that's on Amazon now. And it's like, you think about, I mean, there's been several movies made of Alex Cross novels. I mean, Along Came a Spider is an Alex Cross novel, but most notably like the Tyler Perry Alex Cross movies.
Yeah. Same with Jack Ryan.
Was there multiple of those? I don't even remember.
I think it's just one.
Yeah. Like I've long held the belief that series like that, where there's a consistent main character, like any character series of novels should just be especially now, like it should just be a show. It should be a television show. Yeah. And I think Reacher does exactly right. Take a book and make that into a season of television.
Yep.
And it's like, that's all you need. And then just roll it over, do the next thing, take a couple characters if you want, or some cameos or something, but like, just kind of just keep it going and cast someone who's right for the role, who's not really that well known. Like they're well known in the industry as like, oh, I've worked with that guy. I like him. He's good on set. He's respectful, but not with name recognition. And that's how you do it. You know, I mean, there's a third, I mean, CJ Box writes all these novels. I don't remember the names of any of them, but they're all, the main character is like a forestry servant. Is he a forestry? I don't know. He's in the woods a lot. So, I mean, he's some kind of like park ranger guy, or I'm screwing this up. Let me see. Let me get his actual occupation right.
It's a dentist.
Novels.
Joe Pickett sounds like the name that would be from like a 90s Nickelodeon show about big noses or something. He's on All That character.
No,
it's the name of the big prop on Guts that they got.
That's it. Yeah.
Joe Pickett.
It's Joe Pickett.
This is Joe Pickett, everyone.
No, he's a Wyoming game warden. That's what it was. I knew it was something like law, but in the woods. Game warden.
Okay.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Take your taxes. So yeah, I mean, like I am supportive of streamers doing this, where it's like, if you're gonna elevate unknown voices, make a series out of good pre-existing material, and you want to do a ton of those, that's way better to me than trying to crowbar them into films, because there's all these other external expectations that are put on those that something like this could really never meet. Yeah. Like movies like Gone Girl, it's like, yeah, because that's a really dense, long, really well-written book that's about characters that you don't see in Gillian Flynn's other novels. So that's the shit you make movies on. This is the kind of stuff you make into TV shows.
You just said Gone Girl, and it took me a long time to realize you weren't talking about New Girl, because Kellen had just mentioned New Girl.
There's like other instances of where this probably should have happened, or maybe it has. Like I was thinking about like the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yep.
Like that was supposed to be a series of films.
Yep.
And it was a good Fincher film.
Yep.
And nothing ever happened. Did they make a show that wasn't like the Danish or whatever original?
No, they didn't. And like, but that kind of stuff, like I get it if it's like you want to make a trilogy of films because there's a trilogy of novels, you know, like that's, especially when you got someone like Fincher, but like, yeah, when you've got something like The Dark Tower, they tried to, like, that's another example. Yeah. I just bought that entire series. I went to the local bookstore a couple weeks ago with my kids, and I wanted to like be supportive. So I was like, what can I buy? I was like, hey, you have the fucking Dark Tower books. We have all of them. And I was like, I'll take them.
I'll take them all.
And it was expensive, but now I have them because I want to read them, because everyone says they're so good. But the movie they made a few years ago with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey like bombed, and everyone was like, this is a fucking piece of shit. And so then it was like, but everyone kept saying like the books are really good, they just did it wrong. And now Mike Flanagan is trying to make a Dark Tower TV series, because him and Stephen King are like best buds, and every time he does one of Stephen King's things, it does well. And so I'm over here like, good. It's an 8-book series. Like this should be a series. It should be a large series of television. not films. Like making stuff into this is one of those things where it's just like franchise filmmaking based off of giant books here. It's just never it's so much expectations. Like look at the Percy Jackson, look at Chronicles of Narnia. Like it just always falls apart for one reason or another. And it's just because
Dark Materials.
Yeah, like it never comes together the way the studios want. It's just because I guess there's just way too much risk involved for them because you have to cast famous people and you got to use all this CGI and it's just the cost adds up and it can't perform. And now we don't have movies in China anymore, so they're not going to perform. What?
Nope. Finished that. My bad.
So for me, it's like, for me, yeah, just to say again, like I just think that it's just recognize what is the best medium to make something in, like to adapt something to.
Not
Obviously,
everything can be a James Bond.
Exactly. And it's just like, and there's a reason James Bond was James Bond. And you can't just say like, hey, it's 2025. I think we're going to make a new thing that's going to be timeless. Like, I doubt it. not the way that you guys run things right now. Yeah. Hold your horses.
Yeah.
On the T word there.
The flip side of all this is then when you actually have a movie series that pulls it off, then everybody would be super against them turning into a show. And I'm like, I think this Harry Potter should bomb.
Yeah.
I just saw a thing that they're like, we have a plan for it for a 10-year run. And I was like,
no one cares. Forget that the films are great and everyone is satisfied with those. No one likes J.K. Rowling right now. And no one wants to give her money.
Creatively, if you've seen any of like the set photos and stuff, it looks exactly like the other versions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the point?
This is
I'm just thinking even with a diminished audience for it, that it's diminishing returns, but it's still going to be buku returns. Mm-hmm. Just not the absolute like dancing on the freaking like corporate room tables that the original run of Harry Potter films probably did at Warner Brothers Studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in the money.
Yeah, right.
Bags of cash. And now it's going to be like smaller bags of cash.
Correct.
I think that's spot on too. Like there's been times where it's been done, but for the most part, like unless you're Marvel, like, it's making stuff on serialized on that stage is kind of risky right now. It's just, it's like, forget that if it's like going to do well, or it's just a risky business decision. And I feel like we need to reinstill some separation between who should get to do serialized stories and who shouldn't. And right now it's like, it makes sense both in terms of what the audience wants, what the studios need, and what's fiscally responsible for studios to just focus on making standalone films right now. And just focus on that and let TV do what TV does. Yeah. Like TV needs to stop making movies. They both work, but like a chief complaint I know with like some like video essayists is just like, there was one guy who was talking about how amazing one battle after another looks. And it's like, okay, I mean, I suppose that not especially, but whatever. But he was like, big problem these days is movies look like TV and TV looks like movies. Like it's all just kind of one big mush, like cinematography wise. And, he likes when stuff kind of has like, when movies have like a movie look that TV just doesn't achieve. And it's like, well, that's kind of like saying I miss the days on the Titanic when the poor people weren't allowed to eat with us. Like, I suppose it's nice for you, but like we have these things now, so they're going to intermix. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say, I like when people shoot on film and they expose the lens correctly versus I don't like digital filmmaking. Just say that, you fucking idiot. I don't have an issue with that necessarily. I just more have an issue of like, what are we putting into movies and what are we putting into TV shows? And is this the right place to do that? That's all.
Right.
So anyway, all right. Well, that's Reacher and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, right.
Okay.